Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cheyenne High School. This is our inaugural podcast from our podcast room, and today we are talking about eSports, and I have some of our fantastic Cheyenne High School faculty here. So why don't we begin by having everyone introduce themselves to the people?
I'm Susan Tomlinson. I'm the librarian here, and I am the sponsor for the Cheyenne Gaming Club.
My name is Alicia Ashton. I teach Avid, Biology, and Forensics, and I am one of two hosting the Mario Kart tournament.
I am Oscar Padilla. I am a Spanish teacher and student council teacher, and I am the second person who is hosting the Mario Kart tournament.
So I am just so excited about this Mario Kart tournament. So first, what is Mario Kart? What is the object of the game?
Okay, so Mario Kart is a game based on the Mario Brother characters, where it combines racing and strategy, where characters they can take on different. Or players can take on different characters. They have to use objects within the game to either help or hinder themselves or their opponents.
So this idea came about, I was doing my administrative semester with Dr. Robbins, and we started talking about how to have more inclusion amongst our student body. So one of the things we talked about was how athletes get recognized, club members get recognized, academics get recognized, but there's a subgroup at our school, a pretty big subgroup at our school actually, and that is the video game community. So it blossomed from that conversation, and here we are 1 year later, and this is our third tournament.
And it's so important because, of course, when kids are playing games, they're talking to each other. They're
Absolutely.
getting to know each other.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why I have not just gone straight to video game, because when we do have our video game days, they are more engaged with the game and not necessarily cross with each other. And so by doing more tabletop games, we also have kids that are doing role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, and board games and tabletop games really encourage them to talk to each other and communicate. A lot of the games that are happening now are very collaborative. Everybody has to work together. We all win the game or we all lose the game. It's not just you against me. So it helps them communicate. It helps them, reach out and talk to people maybe they wouldn't talk to before. And so it gives them maybe some skills that in communicating across a table that you maybe wouldn't get if you're just playing a video game together.
And it's so important. Teaching kids pathways to friendships.
Absolutely.
And that's very, very important.
One of the things that I do when I have young people that I know that are going to go off to college, especially if they're going to live in a dorm, like I did, I will always purchase as part of their graduation gift a pack of Uno cards. One of those games everybody plays. Everybody plays it different, though. I tell them you got to set your rules beforehand.
Right.
But it's a great way to kind of break the ice. You're sitting maybe, usually dorms have some type of a common room type area. You sit down with a couple people, start playing Uno, and next thing you know, you got 5 more other people. Hey, can we get in the game? And it gives you a way to kind of connect with people, and it helps to soften that bridge of, I don't know you, but we can do this game together and
Yes.
now.
So esports, there are many different competitions that happen. We have some here that happen locally, like with Mortal Kombat. They've come in, they have pretty good sized pots. Fortnite really exploded in the esports world. In fact, there was a player that won a $3 million pot just at the end of last year.
$3 million.
$3 million.
So a person plays the video game, wins not 1 million, but 3 million.
$3 million.
$1 bills. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Okay.
We have a few magnets here in the district that teach video game programming. We have classes here that teach computer science, is what you need to get into video game programming. So as much as parents may not like the argument, there is a future to be had playing video games, but there are certain avenues that it goes into. It's kind of like playing sports as well. Not every kid that plays football is going to go into the NFL. Not every kid that plays Fortnite is going to go and win $3 million.
Right.
But it is truly an avenue that is opening up more and more.
It's not just something that's done in video games. People use it in architecture. People use it in our U.S. military. This is a discipline.
Well, actually, yeah, World of Warcraft, which is one of the biggest multiplayer online games, they actually had something that led to help the CDC. they had a issue in the game where your character could basically get this disease, and it would lead to their death, and it was supposed to be contained within this one zone, but part of that coding was left off, and so you could actually carry the disease outside of the zone to which it was supposed to take place in the game. And the CDC has actually used the gameplay and the spread of that disease throughout the world of Azeroth, which is where World of Warcraft takes place. They've used that instance of this disease spreading among the players as a model of how actual diseases will spread among populations within the real world.
Because there is no educational value in students participating in these game tournaments. What would you guys say to that?
Well, definitely one of the big things that they can get out of it, eye-hand coordination, strategy. This is with the military, being a fighter pilot, you have to have that good eye-hand coordination, fine motor skills, also too reading comprehension.
And if this is a pathway to get students interested in computer programming and cyber defense and these other sorts of applications of math and science, then we need to do that so we can actually increase the representation of students of color and women, especially in our fields of math and science where students of color and women are underrepresented. I think this is a fantastic pathway. So I just want to say thank you all for participating in this podcast to educate the community about esports, to help us promote our Mario Kart tournament to all of our students in our community here at Cheyenne High School, because the gaming community absolutely is a community, and we need to make sure that it is as inclusive as we can make it here at Cheyenne. So Mr. Padilla, Ms. Ashton, Ms. Tomlinson, thank you all so much, and thank you all so much for viewing our podcast about esports.